Hey guys, Philosopher here, and today we're going to be unlocking and leveling up Shang-Chi. Now, I got to tell you, this character is really something. We are already getting reports for how crazy he makes Heroes for Hire. I will be showing a video after the level up and gameplay showing the full Heroes for Hire team with Shang-Chi against the Infinity Watch and showing how Infinity Watch did. It's something you're not going to want to miss. But first, I'm going to gear him up to gear tier 15. I'm going to get him to level 3 ISO. I will show you how he looks, but this is, of course, and I will discuss T4s and ISO class and all of that stuff as well. So we will get into that. And I just want to say before I do that obviously you could see here, I got his, his shards up to 310 now. And that's because of this silly system where Scopely's trying to make extra money by milking the whales here for cores. This is a ridiculous release method that I recommend that no one actually participate in. The reason I did is because I make videos for you guys. And I've had a bunch of people asking me. Plus, I'm a war captain of my alliance, so I'm like, at least I'll get to see how he performs and, give me a more opportunity to see what people are using against it and make more videos. But, and I know, frankly, some of the content creators who used to do the things, like this aren't around, and I'm trying to fill that void because people have been asking me to do it. So that's why we're doing this, but I would not recommend this. Don't do as I do here. I wouldn't recommend you try this at home, but let's get right into it. Here's Shang-Chi, looking mighty awesome. I got to say, great looking character. We're going to recruit him now. All right, he unlocks at 2 stars. And now I'm going to rank him up. Let's see how high I got him to. So here he is at 3 stars. We're going to get him to 4 stars. I should at least have him up to 5 stars here, which I think will give us some. Yep, I got him to exactly 5 stars. So this will, I think, give us some basis for seeing what the character's like. All right, let's get him up. We'll start with level 60 just to get him to 6664 on abilities. Well, here you go. Here's tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4. All right, now we've got tier 5. We're going to tier 6. Now we're going to go up to tier 7. Tier 8. Tier 9. And then tier 10. Now I'm going to make a brief interlude here. We got him at tier 10. This is going to be the lowest power tier 10 character you've ever seen, 7,000. And that's because way too much of this number here, the power number, comes from abilities, which is why T4s influence TCP way more. The reason I'm doing this, and I'm doing it this way, I have been recently just going right up to level 80. But I thought it would be nice to show you guys how I've always done it when I wasn't streaming, which is take the character up to level 60 first. So this way you don't have to worry here about by mistake T4ing the ability. But we're going to talk about T4s in a minute. Now let's get them all the way up to level. Whoa. I don't have the, I got to open up some mats here, or some training mats to get him up to level 81. I at least have a lot of training orbs saved. And I've had people ask me, oh, we can just open up 10 at a time, which is great. I've had people ask me, is there some secret here with training orbs? And the answer is that essentially, if you're wailing on energy or coring out energy, you tend to get more training mats. All right, now let's take them all the way up to level 81. There we go. People have been asking me what the cost is to go from level 80 to 81. It's a little over 400,000. I think it's 420 something thousand. And each of the levels so far that we've seen from level 80 to 85 are about that same way. So I think it's going to be, it'll be over 2 million, somewhere between 2.5 something million maybe, or a little more, between 2 and 3 million to get up to level 85. All right, so there we go. Now tier 12 on the character. Now we're going to tier 13. Tier 14. And then here we go with tier 15. Now, obviously, no red stars on the character at all. He's not yet in red star orbs. I want to talk first about the T4s. And then I'm going to talk about the ISO class. So let's start here at the passive. I think this is arguably the most important T4, and at least just on a glance. And I got to say that these are not formal recommendations. I don't really make recommendations until I've had a chance to use the team for a while, although with war defense teams, it's kind of hard, and it really depends on, basically just my experience facing the team. But one thing I love about this one is that this affects the entire team, not just him. So with Deflect, you gain 20% crit chance and 10% block amount for self and on war defense, all heroes for hire allies. So, of course, it's a war defense team. And, they spawn with Deflect. They get Deflect whenever their charge mechanic works and they go down below 50% health or they die or whatever. Then they respawn. They get all the way up to 100% health and they get the multiple Deflects. And so, to me, this essentially is giving the entire team often 20% crit chance and 10% block amount. So I think that's pretty significant in my view. And so I really like this T4, and I consider it, likely to be an essential. I'll do them all here because I have a lot of T4 saved up, as you can see. This one I think is also going to probably be an essential here. 125% damage to all targets alone is a lot of damage. He's a very high damager. So if you actually look at the stats in the game, you will see that he is the 6th highest damager in the game. So that's pretty significant in my mind. Very high damage, even higher than Colleen in terms of damage number. So that's huge. Reducing speed bar all enemies by initial 5% is nice. So this is definitely an essential. How it compares to the others, I'm not quite sure yet, but it's definitely one that I'm going to be doing. And then this one, filling speed bar by 50% and a Warfront fills speed bar by 75%. I mean, this one looks like an essential to me. It essentially gives you it's not quite 100% of a free turn, but a free 3/4 of a turn on war defense. So this is pretty essential. And then this one here, this is a single target attack. Gives you an extra 25% crit chance. What's nice about this is that it also would affect if, a counter attack, assist, that sort of thing. And he does, he doesn't really get, that he does not have that mechanic. I will say that, he is also a character who, you're not going to have a striker. I'll more on that in a minute. So I just don't view this as essential. I do like the additional crit chance. On this, I mean, I think I'll put it as a nice to have. As you guys can see, I have a lot of T4 saved up for a whole variety of reasons. A lot of it's just the alliance I'm in right now. Gets a huge T4 income. So I'm going to do this one, but this is really I think for most people, a skippable one. And like I said, this whole character and team is really skippable for most people, unless you're really endgame or super into war. I mean, I do think this is a team that you can skip, just because what ends up happening with these teams is once Scopely, it's kind of a familiar pattern, whether it was with the Hydra or Red Skull team or the Marauders, that this team gets introduced and then they introduce a counter, a soft counter like 3 months later and a hard counter 5 months later. And then you've had your moment in the sun with your war defense, but that's all it is. But I'll just throw this on here. I've invested a lot into my Heroes for Hire team. As for ISO, I'm going to put Raider on this guy because of all the crits that he's going to do. And I will just say that I think there's an argument to be made for also switching Misty over to Raider. Because remember, Raider gives not only crit chance, but gives crit damage to whenever there's a crit. And with this guy, there is going to be a ton of crit chance when there's deflex. And let's face it, this team gets a lot of deflex. So, and we're just going to bring up the blue ISO here as well. The thing is, though, with Misty, the reason it's a more complicated thing is that Misty Knight has an interaction with Colleen Wing where she gets an assist now. And so that interaction between Colleen and Misty means that I think Skirmisher can remain a good choice for Misty Knight, but Misty does have a high focus. So I think you could switch Misty to Raider. I think Skirmisher is fine because of that triple tap interaction between her and Colleen as Skirmisher. So here you go. Here's Shang-Chi. Let's take a look at the full team. I will just say that, outside of like Blitz or something, here we go. We'll take it off sim here. I don't expect to really be able to showcase this team. This team should still get rolled, I would think, in like RTA or something like that, although we can certainly test it out and try the team out there. But what I think is going to be most interesting is seeing how the team does with the full team, with Shang-Chi in war defense. And I'm going to show you a video on that in a second. So let's just go here. We're going to check out the moves of the team just to see how it does. Here, we'll have it against a crappy team, more or less just to showcase what the team looks like, what Shang-Chi looks like, what the animations look like, all that stuff. I think people like to see that. And then I want to show off the team on war defense. An amazing video posted on my Discord by Hollow Braden, who really did a favor to the whole community by doing that. So this is the one where he attacks all enemies and puts speed up to all heroes for higher allies for 2 turns. Can't be counterattacked, blocked, or dodged. This is great even outside of Alliance War. Look at the the stats. You could see such high health on this team. Okay, wow, right? He's reducing the speed bar. Nice damage. It's not a bad look for the character here either. I mean, it's a cool looking attack here. Okay, and then of course we've got Colleen Wing. This is a slight punch down, but of course they're just getting absolutely rolled. Hopefully they last long enough. Well, wow, by the way, I don't even know if the team is going to last long enough to do another attack here by Shang-Chi. So here we'll just basic if we can. We'll do this here. This is another move that gives deflect to the whole team, by the way, FYI. Wow. All right, this is the end of that. Okay. I'll do one more attack with this team just to see if we can try out some of the other heroes for higher abilities, and then we will go to let's do this team just so we can maybe do some abilities on Greg as needed. And then we'll go right to that footage on war defense, because I think that's really where the game is. I mean, this stuff's interesting. I'm sure people want to see, and what I'll do is speed this up till we get to Shang-Chi. We've already saw, frankly, the animation on his initial attack, so let's just get right done with that. Very high damage, though. You can see the damage he does on that initial attack. I'm still going to do this. There we go. Just get rid of Thor. All right. All right. There we go. All right. So now we'll just do the basic. All right. All right. Let's get rid of Minerva. This is now unavoidable. Okay. So now I'm going to put this on 1x, and we'll see his other move here. Attacking primary and adjacent targets for 380% damage and clearing all negative effects and gaining counter. So here, by the way, would be a reason to upgrade the T4 on the basic, because this is where he'll get the counter attacks that he would be, getting the additional crit chance. It looks cool. I mean, he definitely looks cool. Colleen's doing the assist now right there. Let's see if I can make this team. What we'll do is we'll just do the basics on Greg so that we can see the Shang-Chi basic. And then we will. Yeah, remember when that used to be a fearsome attack, that Thor attack? All right, let's do the basic here. Let's see. Oh, actually, that may be the coolest looking attack he does. Very cool. All right. Well, that's neat. This is interesting team. What I want to show off now is something that Halo Braden put on my Discord. This is a video of Infinity Watch versus Heroes for Hire on War Defense with Shang-Chi. It's a 400k Heroes for Hire that is getting a punch down from 600k Infinity Watch roughly. So it's about a 200k punch down according to him. I'm sure these aren't exact figures, okay? But this is a huge punch down by Infinity Watch. I want you to see how the team does on War Defense. I really appreciate Halo Braden adding this to the Discord here, because I think it's really a service to the community to see how this goes. So one thing I want you to notice is one thing that Shang-Chi does to the team that really makes the team much stronger is because of him, Luke Cage now taunts when another member of the Heroes for Hire team gets below 60%. Getting that taunt is really important because it forces the enemy to focus on Luke Cage. Before, he was really a character you just ignored. I mean, you just basically went after Colleen Wing right in the very beginning and then took her down, and then the team was essentially neutered because their only damager was getting taken out. But now what you see is they're going to go after Luke Cage. Now, he's got the ability block and so forth, but this team is holding its own. I mean, we all know that Infinity Watch has got insane sustain, and they really can keep themselves up with all that drain and everything. But the opposing team is focusing on attacking Luke Cage because of that annoying taunt. I think that changes the entire fight because Luke Cage becomes a true tank. They are now focusing on taking Luke Cage out. And instead of, the situation before where you ignore Luke Cage, you kill Colleen, she's the only potential threat that Heroes for Hire has. And once she's down, then the team is a low damage team, the Heroes for Hire team. Now you have a second threat in Shang-Chi, and you have to focus on Luke Cage, or else he's just going to taunt, and you're never going to get anyone down. So you can see here, if you look at the Infinity Watch team, they're all up, but they've been fighting for 2 minutes, and everybody on the Heroes for Hire team is still at full health. And this is on a punch down. So I think we're seeing a very, very strong team here. You have definite potentials for timeouts, but you're starting to see already the tide turning for the Infinity Watch team. Now, I think it's fair to say this isn't like the best played match by the attacker. And I don't mean any disrespect to Halo Braden's alliance mate here. Obviously, this is a new fight. We're all learning it. But there are things you could do differently. But nonetheless, this is a statement here that the Heroes for Hire team is going to now be this wall again in Alliance War. And I have to say, it doesn't have to be that way. This is what the devs want this team to be. And it's interesting because it was sold to us, the Heroes for Hire team, as like a raid boss sort of team that was going to transform Alliance War. And it did for like a month. And then even then we kind of figured all out how to one-shot this thing with a very specialized counter where you use like Surfer, Kestrel, and Black Bolt and other stuff. But then once Infinity Watch came out, it kind of was no longer a thing. Now, this may be a situation where we may not have a single one-shot counter anymore to this team. If that's the case, that's going to really change the line score. It's going to make it very slow, and it's going to really prevent the full clears and so forth. So, look at this. I mean, this is supposedly, according to Halo Braden, who provided this video, this is a significant punch down, and I appreciate him sharing this on my Discord, which is linked below. We have a lot of great discussions there. But you can just see here, look at this Infinity Watch team, supposedly punching down, just getting rolled. Absolutely rolled here by Heroes for Hire. Now, obviously, Luke Cage is down, so it's not like this was a wasted attack. This is an attack you would keep because some progress has been made here. But nonetheless, that's not much progress. And you can see now, look at how many deflects are on the team. It's particularly on Shang-Chi. He's adding a lot of crit chance here. That increases the damage output of the Heroes for Hire team significantly. Very, very, very powerful team. Wow. Unbelievable. 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 So look, do I recommend investing in Shang-Chi in and of himself? I don't know about that. Do I think he'll have use in other game modes? Sure, for newer players, I think that he does have value. For example, newer players, I think he is a player that you could use for Heroes 7-1 since he is a city hero, for example. So he's not like a character that I would say has no value elsewhere. I don't expect him to be useful in DD4. The team generally hasn't been, but we can see now. We can try. I can try the full team very briefly. One more in RTA here for a second as a full team just to see. But I will tell you now, I'm not optimistic here about how the team does. Just because. Oh, and we have one of them is bio. So Luke Cage isn't even available, so I wouldn't even bother with him in RTA. But I will just say I do think that this is an interesting team. Still not a team that has wide use, but a team that I think is going to be very powerful in war defense and a team that's going to transform the Alliance War meta. All right, so if you like this video, smash that like button, subscribe to this channel. If you got comments, leave them below. Your questions about Shang-Chi or the team. Or, hey, just go to my Discord. That's linked below. That's where we have the great video from Halo Braden and a lot of other great discussion there. And also check out my Twitch stream. That's where I make these videos and discuss this stuff in real time. If you follow me on Twitch, you'll see when I am streaming, often on the weeknights during United States time.